Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this topic. How discernment can help end your symptoms. So, how discernment can help end your symptoms. So, get to that in a minute. Long day. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. Here I am shooting my video for 5 a.m. But I got to get it done. Can't break that streak over 5 years in a row daily. It's because I love all you folks out there. All right. So, how discernment can help end your symptoms. All right. Discernment is when you have the ability to judge something correctly. It's like you're smart. You're figuring stuff out. You are thinking logically, reasonably. So discernment. So what do we want to have discernment over? Well, over our situation for sure. Like we want to think logically of what's going on. Because so often with chronic symptoms or pains, the fear takes over and rationality goes out the window. So discernment is kind of relating to the thinking that we do about ourselves and our life and our symptoms and our recovery process and our abilities and our capability to get this done. So discernment on our thoughts. There's a lot of noise coming out of this brain of ours. A lot of noise. And I don't mean tinnitus. I mean like thought noise. Just a bunch of crap, bouncing off the walls inside this head of ours. Not all of our thoughts are meant to be taken seriously. Sometimes the thoughts that we have are just a crazy version of ourselves going, oh no, the sky is falling. We're in trouble. We got to do something. I'm in a panic. Right? We don't have to listen to that version of ourselves that's inside this head running around panicking. You don't need to. Use discernment. Recognize if my thoughts are making me feel worse. They're not helpful. They're not factual. Really puts us in the fight or flight when we have and take serious the thoughts that make us feel worse. Thinking can put us into fight or flight, and it often does, and it keeps us there, sometimes for years or decades. But use discernment, use judgment to say, not that one, not buying into that one. That one makes me feel worse, mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't need to believe that, right? Use discernment. Our thoughts are not always beneficial, right? And if you do have that little crazy version of you running around in your head, I didn't just call you crazy, but we all have that voice that gets irrational sometimes. Use your discernment. Use your judgment. Say, I'm not buying into those thoughts. Not thinking about that anymore. What's kind of cool about the way the brain works is the less you engage in these negative thoughts over time, the less of those negative thoughts you're going to have. Right? The more you engage in those positive thoughts and kind of sit with them and let that feeling resonate, the more of them you'll have, right? Feelings follow thoughts. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. You have a positive thought, you get a positive feeling. The brain creates chemicals. You have a negative thought, the brain creates a negative feeling through these brain chemicals, right? So if you can, let those negative ones go by. Don't ruminate on them. Don't loop on them. Don't think about them all day. Don't try to stop them. Don't try to correct them. Just let them go by as fast as possible, right? And then if there's a good thought, say, I want to hold on to that one. Yeah, that one I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to get well. I'm going to get better. I'm capable of doing this. Safety. I'm going to focus on my life. Make living more important than fixing. All the stuff I teach on a regular basis. Go live your life. There's nothing wrong with you. Famous words of Dr. Sarno as he would dismiss a patient from his office in New York City. Go live your life. There's nothing wrong with you. I do daily videos, seemingly from all sorts of different angles, but the core message is, go live your life. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain just doesn't realize it. Your brain thinks you're sick. The brain thinks you're broken. The brain thinks you've got mental health challenges. The brain thinks all this stuff. And look, I am not suggesting none of you don't have any legitimate physical concerns. I'm sure some of you do. What I talk about here does not apply to every situation known to humankind, right? That's not the case. Because sometimes in the comments I'll get somebody go, oh yeah, what about cancer? Well, this is not, cancer-free you. This is pain-free you. This is symptom-free you. I'm not, trying to handle every possible medical scenario known to man and woman. I focus on what we can do about chronic conditions. And this stuff works. This stuff really works. So discernment, really important for you to use judgment on which of your own thoughts to take seriously. Use discernment on what you read and watch on the internet. Use discernment on how often you pull up, the doctor told me this. Well, if you've already done the research, you've ruled in TMS, mind, body, but the doctor's given you a different medical label and given you some prognosis of not so hopeful, use discernment on how often you revisit that memory. Ideally, once you've invalidated that as factual and proven in your head through the assessments, knowing it's a mind-body condition that you're dealing with, and you've proven that diagnosis or medical label not to be factual, use your discernment and don't revisit that. Don't revisit that every time you got a bad day, a colorful day. Use your discernment, use your judgment and say, no, I'm not doing that again. No, I'm not going to the keyboard and typing in, Dr. Google, please tell me about my symptom. Dr. Google, what are the treatments for my symptom? Support groups for my symptom. These are rabbit holes that you can get down into and get lost for a long time. And then 2 years from now, you'll be saying, I can't get out of my head what I read on the internet. Get off the internet, right? Look, the internet's a wonderful thing. But use your discernment as to what you accept and don't accept. What you allow into this residency of your brain. If it's not a helpful thought, let it go by. And if you've got some that are ruminating and looping, kick them out. Say, hey, no longer. We're not doing that anymore. Use your judgment. Use your discernment. And that can absolutely help you get better quicker, because by being discerning on which thoughts you accept, you're not going to let the negative, fearful ones keep you in the perception of danger long term. And that can help you start to create more and more safety. Use your discernment. Is this thought creating danger or safety? If safety, sit with that. If danger, let it fly by. You don't have to do anything with it. So that's what I got for you today. Hope everybody's doing well. As always, I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.